Shall we begin?
Welcome to the Happy MonsterCast. I'm your host, Scott Marchand Davis of Happy Monster Press.
Let's begin now.
This week on the Happy MonsterCast, the misfits encounter big boy stooge Fergus Dugan. This podcast contains adult language and adult situations. Previously on the Happy MonsterCast, a band of misfits has joined in an effort to break the power of the big boys over the Holler, including preacher Piety Jackson, gouger Karl son of Karl, mountain magician Buck Grayson, bootleg distiller Booker Noe, and itinerant crooner Old Blue. The misfits are on a mission to find out why Fergus Dugan is producing so much more moonshine. Turns out, the answer is zombies. All right, I'm going to go ahead and recap here.
All right.
So, you are continuing your efforts to build a coalition of Holler folk to combat the oppressive big boy regime. And you've been sent to Cherry Mountain to try to recruit notorious moonshiner Amos Mulholland and his mercenary army that protects the mountain from the big boys and also helps him distribute his moonshine. Amos wants you to go figure out why his neighboring moonshiner, Fergus Dugan on Rag Mountain, Old Rag, has suddenly become a massive producer of moonshine, and to investigate rumors that he's getting backing from the big boys. Now, on your way, you ran into some Fenrir, wolves that can speak, at least their leaders can, and their leader, Aladolf, said that Amos has kidnapped Fenrir cubs and raised them against the Fenrir code. So unless Amos agrees to release these pups so that the Fenrir can kill them, they're going to invade Cherry Mountain and destroy Amos and his men. Now, you haven't been back to Cherry Mountain to tell Amos about this, but it's an important message you might need to carry back sometime soon.
Okay.
On your journey, you encountered some mercenaries at the first still up the mountain that hinted that Fergus is working with the big boys and also that they've been involved in violence to locals. And then you came to the second still, which seems to be operated by a bunch of weird, mindless zombies. They are completely ignoring you. When Karl went over to stand in front of one of them, it just walked around him. Their eyes are weird bronze color and seem to be lit up from inside their skull. And so you were debating two things. The first one was, do we want to try to investigate these critters any further? And the other was, do you want to make a ruckus here, or do you want to try to move up the mountain in stealth to find Fergus? So, Karl, as you're standing in front of this thing and it walks away from you, I would like you to make a notice roll.
Bear with me for 1 second. Come here, Karl.
Hey, Bob.
Does it work?
It does. You're
It does.
here.
Hey, guys.
All right. So, Karl, would you like to Benny that notice roll? Because it's kind of sad.
Well, I got all this blood running down my face.
This is true. Wow, that's even worse.
Woo! I see nothing.
Oh, God.
They appear to be some sort of bipedal humans.
All right. So what's your plan here, folks? Are you going to try to investigate these weird zombie-like critters that seem to be making moonshine for Fergus?
I'm going to poke the zombie.
You're going to poke the zombie?
I'm going to poke the zombie.
All right. So you poke one, and it just basically
poke.
You
I'm
keep
here.
poking it. It just doesn't seem to do anything.
Acknowledge me.
Nope, not doing it. Not doing a thing.
I'm here.
You want to punch it?
Okay, this feels like escalation, but okay.
I'm gonna punch it.
Do it.
You will acknowledge my existence.
All right. I assume you're going to punch it in the head because that's just how you roll.
Well, I got to see what's inside. It's glowing behind the eyes.
Fuzzy gummy stuff.
If I punch him in the jimmies, that's not going to tell us anything.
He'll still vomit, though. Possibly. Oh, wait. That's living.
It's fighting, yes?
Yes, if you really want to go all out, you could do a wild. You could do a wild. Oh yeah, unarmed. You could do a wild attack if you really wanted to go all out.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to be scientific about
again, escalation here.
There are steps.
All right, go ahead and punch the zombie.
Oh.
Wow, that's a terrible roll. You still hit him with one hit. Do you want to Benny that one?
No.
All right.
I'm going to need those.
Give me a damage roll then.
That one hit went well.
Wow. You brought it home with the damage.
All right. So you, with a loud squelching sound, you basically knock this thing's head off. And it goes rolling back into the corner by the cliff here. And it drops to the ground. The body drops to the ground.
Oh, wasn't me.
No. How'd that happen? Well, gee, I don't know.
I better go pick that up.
All right. So when you pick up the head, you notice it's got a long scar across the top of its skull.
Hey, everybody, look at this.
Like a lobotomy
Well, I mean, not that you've ever
scar?
seen a lobotomy scar here in the Holler, but it's more like it's a long scar right down the center of its skull, like a center part.
Ugh.
Does it look like a zipper? Can we open it?
It does not look like a zipper, but you could probably crack it open with a bit of work from a hard object like a rock or hammer or similar. Would anyone care to crack it open?
Well, that sounds like an appeal to my curiosity.
Okay. Because I need to know. Well, no, I need to know. Okay, if this is a human, then I'm going to pray for it one way. But if it's some kind of an animal or a construct, then I'm going to pray for it a different way. So
That's
need to
a
know.
terrible idea.
All right, so you find a suitable tool. There actually are tools around here in the still, so you just grab a wrench and prop the thing up on a rock and give it several hard whacks and crack open the skull. And inside is the rotting remnants of a brain. And inserted into it, kind of diagonally spanning the two lobes of the brain, is a small glowing bronze shim in the shape of a triangle.
Okay, I pry that out.
Okay. As you touch it and pull it out, it loses its glow.
Okay.
You
All right,
broke
now-
my
now-
prize.
Now, hang on a second. We beseech thee, O Lord, accept into thy loving hands a sheep of thine own fold, a lamb of thine own flock.
I have
Amen.
a bad feeling about this.
Okay, back to the killing.
And all the rest of these ghouls are just going about their business. They don't even seem to have noticed that one of their number has had his block knocked off.
Okay, so let's examine this little bronze thing. Is there a maker's mark? Do we know anything about it? Is there some kind of indication of where it came from? Who made it?
Give me a common knowledge roll.
that would be everybody, right?
Anybody who's looking at it.
That's about as good as I'm going to get, I think.
That is pretty good. Okay, Booker, you're a bit of a technological aficionado here. And so you recognize a symbol on here. There's various symbols on this thing. They're very fine, but in looking at it carefully, you can see them. And you see a stylized bee that you know is used to mark the Bondurant Asylum.
Like a mental hospital?
The asylum is in the Cussfoot Fens. And it is a charity project of the Bondurant family. It is an insane asylum, but there are also rumors that people are sent there against their will, and that it is also used as a political prison.
Huh.
Hmm.
So I'm going to look at these people. Do they look familiar at all?
You don't recognize any of them personally,
Okay.
but they certainly look like, when they were alive and not rotting, that they could have been Holler folk.
All right.
Well, that's not right.
I mean, it looks to me like this asylum, this family is using the asylum inmates to create an army of slave laborers, zombie slaves, to make their moonshine for them.
That would certainly be the kind of thing that big boys would do and would simplify their labor problem substantially.
And will hasten their travel on the road to hell.
So clearly, Fergus is in cahoots with these folks because his workforce is at least partially comprised of these zombies.
So I feel that we should put these poor creatures out of their misery. I think that no child of God deserves to be artificially sustained like this and held in this such horrible captivity.
I hate to say it.
Given that they are... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I hate to say it, but I agree.
So it won't be particularly challenging to destroy all these guys, since they put up no resistance.
So let's go ahead and do that with as much kindness and mercy as possible. We're going to dispatch them and send them on to their maker.
Does that mean I'm going to get
just gonna
my
sit back and
Widowmaker and
watch.
just shoot him in the head?
That
Well,
sounds noisy.
Shooting is loud, so that might alert Fergus that you're coming.
Yeah, we
it's
don't need
probably
to
not a
waste
good idea.
ammunition. I've got a wooden club here,
Oh, man.
and
And ammunition is very
Yes,
valuable
that's
and
true.
not easy to come by.
I'm just going to sit back and watch.
Yeah,
I do
somebody else
not want
can
to
hit him in the head
participate
and we can burn the bodies or something.
in things.
All right, yeah, you don't need to do any fighting tests or anything. It takes a little while, but you eventually kill them all, take their little triangles out, and it is now littered with corpses.
Can I search that room with the boiler? Or the moonshine?
Yeah, there's a few tools and quite a lot of moonshine, but nothing else of value.
I'm going to pocket a little bit of moonshine if I can.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
I'm going to burn down this facility so that whoever comes back to this location has to restart.
That is probably not something we want to do until we leave.
Let's do that on the way back.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we could just burn everything as we go.
Yeah. We'll
All
just go
right.
with that.
All right. So you make your way up the mountain.
I think we should hang on to the triangles as well so we have some proof.
Yep. So you make your way up the mountain. And slowly but surely, You're doing your best to be stealthy, but these folks know the mountain better than you. And as you approach a mountain stream, you see a large force arrayed on the other side of the stream from you. There's a dozen mercenaries, 8 Kramer Holt agents, and a gentleman you assume to be Fergus Dugan. Says, "Well, now, strangers, welcome to my mountain. I ain't had visitors like this since my first wife left me. And all the county folk were coming over to offer condolences, or for the young women folk, offer up their opportunity to join me in holy matrimony.
Ugh.
Y'all thought you were being real sneaky, but this is my mountain, and you ain't going to find your way up here without me knowing it. So, y'all been sent by Amos, I assume."
While he's talking, can I go ahead and just kind of try and stealth away? Or like just into a bush or a tree somewhere?
You can try, but they know you're there, so it's not going to be happening.
So how many people are on the other side of the river here?
So there are a total of
That's a
21
lot of
people on the
people.
other side of the river. There are a lot of people there. The mercenaries are armed with deer rifles. The Kramer Holt agents are armed with a mix of Tommy Deadmen and peasant pumpers.
Okay.
And
Well, this looks unwinnable. We should probably just go ahead and head on back.
And Fergus is himself has a Widowmaker holstered at his side.
I want to cast Havoc and Blindness. Let's
And
do it.
so the odds are not
Yeah.
great. He says, so y'all, Amos sent y'all, yeah?
Who? I don't know anybody named Amos.
What's an Amos?
Well, it must be that thing that's attached to your
Oh,
behind,
no.
right?
How did I know?
He made a
Or
Would
they make cookies.
would anyone like to make a persuasion roll?
Oh, yeah.
All right, you can make that at -4.
ouch.
No,
Oh god, outsider. That's right. Shit.
it's going to be a -4 for anybody who makes the roll.
Persuasion, right?
Yes.
Oh, I got advantage.
Strangely.
I'm gonna go ahead and Benny that. Which one's the Benny button? Where's my Benny
It's
button?
the little happy monster button on the chat there.
I'll keep that.
Okay, cool.
So he says, you're not from Amos then? Then who are you from then? What are you doing on my mountain?
Oh, I'm just a traveling minstrel. Just traveling around and seeking good times, good
Well,
booze.
That explains you, old man.
I
Sure
heard
don't
you had some.
sure don't explain your comrades there.
Well, they're my posse. We were just looking for some booze, and we found some down there. And we were just looking to get some drunk. Yeah, we wanted to get drunk. Pretty much. We didn't know there was a big hullabaloo about us coming up here. I apologize. I did not mean to.
Well,
just
that's a fine
come on
story,
in.
my friend, but I think you're feeding me a line of pig shit. So
I'm gonna start.
maybe you better come clean, or I'm going to have my men
Well, why don't I just play you a little something? So I'm going to go ahead and perform.
Okay. Give me a notice roll first.
Okay. Roll. Yeah. Okay.
It is crystal clear that he is not going to believe that anything you say at this point.
Well, if I can distract him at least for now with my performance, maybe everybody else can do something else while I distract him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody want to help me?
I'm just going to say, just to make it clear, there's an awful lot of guns aimed directly at you right now.
I believe the subtext here is we should run.
Well, running is an option. Talking is an option. You could, try being straight with the guy. That's an option too.
I'm trying to perform for him. See, I'm not lying. I'm a performing minstrel.
So he says, that's a real nice song. I'm sure the folk at Bondurant will enjoy it when you sing to them after I slap you in chains and send you off to the asylum.
Asylum? I ain't no crazy person.
Well, then after a bit, you can come back here and work for me.
Oh, well, I appreciate the job offer, but I think I might have to decline. I see there's not very good health benefits.
Well, that's the thing. You're not going to care so much about them health benefits when you come back here as a dead man to work my still.
Exactly. Not very good health benefits.
So y'all basically figure y'all had best come clean about who you're working for, or my boys here are going to slap you in chains and send you off the asylum. So how about you be straight with me?
I'm going to go ahead and do the old I'll tell everybody in my group to look that way and then tell them to run kind of trick.
Okay.
Hey, look what's over there.
Oh,
Hey, look, run.
You don't. So you're not going to own up to the fact that to who you're working for?
I feel like that would be a bad idea. I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in on this.
Well,
are these the guys that kidnapped the wolves?
No, that's the guy you're working for, the guy who sent you here.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I mean, shoot.
neither one of them is very nice. On the other hand, this guy is delighting in the zombification and enslavement of innocent people. So I got
that ain't right.
I have to ask you, if you're going to keep on making people into zombies, who are you going to sell to in the future?
Oh, I imagine the city folk will take a liking to my moonshine over time.
Right.
How many people can I hit with Havoc?
Well,
Yeah.
Not enough.
Can I hit 6?
You can hit about you could hit about half of them, maybe.
How many people could I hit with confusion?
Also about half of them.
Want to own?
so if I throw my bottles of moonshine at them, like I'd imagine they were like jugs, and somebody else does something that sets them on fire.
Well, you're gonna have to close the range first before you can do any of these things.
Yeah, I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah,
Well, they're
how
on the other side of a
close do we
river.
need to be
Is it going to
before
be?
we can cast any of this stuff? Still on the other side of a river. If we decide to run for it, they have to clear.
So, absolute best case scenario, if you slap all the power modifiers in the world on it. Let's see, your smarts is 10. If you want to drop it into the middle of them, you're going to have to double that range. So, dropping Havoc into the middle of them to hit as many as possible is going to take 4 of your power points.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not horrible.
I'll
You've
make
got
it through
15.
the night, hopefully.
And then they're all going to shoot you.
So I should hit kindness first. I do have a
I
pretty
risk, I
fast, of
return,
course. If they
right?
shoot me in the head, I'm still out. Do we just run for it? And
So wait, what did this guy actually ask us to do?
He asked you to own up to the fact that you're working for Amos.
No, what did Amos actually ask us to do?
So Amos asked you to figure out what the heck is going on with Fergus. Why, if he's working with the big boys, and how he's producing so much moonshine.
And we know that they're getting.
We have done that, right? I mean, he's using zombie labor.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Right.
And he's
we know
definitely
that
in
they're
cahoots
getting
with the big boys. I mean, he's got
zombies from Bondurant.
He's got 8 Kramer Holt agents working for him right here.
Well, I'm going to talk to him again. I'm gonna, well,
So we could, so we could skedaddle, as the saying goes, with the information and head back to Fergus and say, hey, you asked us to find this stuff out. This is it. This is how he's doing it.
Yeah, Amos is the one you're working for, but yeah.
Or Amos rather.
Yeah, Fergus is the one over here.
well, you know,
Y'all
it's
look the same to me.
that sun's getting pretty low, and you know, I'm not going to lie to you. You know, that guy that you were talking about definitely sent these 4 to come and see you. I'm just traveling minstrel who was just tagging along. I'm just going to go ahead and just leave.
Oh man!
You to your business. You all have a nice day. I'm going to start kind of backing off.
Well, I tell you what. You all, you 4, and you bullshitter in the back there.
Me, I haven't told you any lies.
I'm going to offer you a right good bargain.
Okay.
I can give you 500 local scrip apiece and some right nice shooters if you go back to Cherry Mountain and do a little espionage and sabotage on my behalf.
Oh, do go on.
Well, I figure if you head on back there, maybe put some holes in some of his stills, even better. See if you can steal the secret of that cherry flavoring he puts in his Cherry Bounce Special Reserve. Then there'd be some nice rewards in it for you.
Okay.
The big boys would be very happy with y'all.
I see.
Well,
Well, that's something definitely to think about now, isn't it? Right, gang?
That is certainly something to think about.
Half up front.
Yeah. Could we possibly get half now? Just as good faith.
Well, if y'all had owned up right away to working for Amos, I'd be more inclined to trust your good faith.
Now,
all things considered,
it was very.
You've been trying to convince me that you weren't doing what you're doing. I'm inclined to say we should not do half up front.
Well, I counter with the amount of guns and people you have. I, myself, was not sure of what the right thing would say. If it was you didn't like the fact that they were working, these 4 here were working with him, then I that would be it with you and them and whatnot. So, yeah. Can we get half up front? I'm going to go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
All right.
And a giant sack for his big brass.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to re-roll. Just because I want to see if I can get, there we go. There we go. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. No!
Oh!
No! Oh, wait.
You still beat it. He says, old songster, you kind of amuse me here. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you 1,200 in script. No guns, though.
Oh, well.
And you can head back over and bring back the information and tell me about the damage you did to Amos's operation.
That sounds like a plan.
Idea. Okay, out of character, I have a batshit crazy idea. All right, we pretend like
I love it already.
We use the 1,200. We buy explosives, guns, booms, hurts, and we go back and we beat the shit out of all of them.
Well,
And then
here's the thing. Company script is only usable in company stores. And company stores don't have any of that stuff.
Can we launder it?
Ooh.
Potentially, yes.
Ooh.
If you wanted to buy, like, you'd be in real good shape you might even be able to get a radio, record player.
We might not have
a nice couch.
I don't.
Okay, I'm just thinking like we should use that money to like get weapons to fortify ourselves. And, like,
we don't have to spend it here. We could go to another where there's another town that has company stuff.
Well, you'd have to spend it in a Bondurant town.
I was going to say, he said local script. He didn't say company script.
It's all local script. There's not one script for the Holler. It's script for a particular company town.
Well, I mean, we can always go to another Bondurant town then.
Right, but you understand my sentiment, right? It's like he didn't give us guns, but it's like we know these guys are bad guys. Like, yeah, but at the same time,
we don't want to get murdered.
we want to pretend that we're acting
How
good faith.
pragmatic.
Yeah, I don't want to get murdered, so I think we should take the money and go.
Yeah, not getting
So
murdered.
he whispers to one of his comrades, and the comrade heads down the mountain, and he comes back with with 2 bags.
Okay. Awesome.
He says, "Here's your upfront script."
All right, Karl, why don't you go head over there and grab that money?
And in this other
It's
bag,
not a bag of
I got
feces,
something
is
to
it?
leave as a message for Amos when you head back this way.
It's not a head in a bag, is it? Because I've gone down that road before.
I've already got one of those right here.
Sure is a head in the bag.
Oh man!
Different
God
folks.
damn it.
You leave him a message that a passel of dead men's coming for him.
Definitely will. We will absolutely do that.
Okay, so you head back down the mountain. Are you going to burn anything on the way?
I think that's a bad idea.
Terrible idea.
All right.
It's like, thanks for the money. Go fuck yourselves.
Basically.
So when you return to the mountain, you still haven't met Amos. But one of his men that you met before comes down. He says, what'd y'all find out?
Ain't nothing good. You might want to just pack up and find some other place to go.
Yeah, no, like hand the flask and like sit him down and like tell him the whole ordeal we just went through.
All right, so do you tell him about the Fenrir?
The Fenrir? Yeah, like we should say like, hey, both these sides are playing us.
Like, why are you going screwing around with the Fae? Stop it!
Do you want to try to persuade him to let him go?
I mean, yeah, because the situation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like get out of this business. It's not a good idea.
No, it's not.
It might be time to pack up shop and either
Yeah,
go somewhere else or maybe just quit altogether.
Yeah.
That's a terrible persuasion.
Beep, beep, boop, boop.
Old Blues, however, is very good. He's like,
Yeah.
you all come with me. And he takes you up the mountain to meet Amos. He said, did you show him the ghoul head?
Yeah.
And the triangle chips.
So he hears your appeal and he says, I got big fish to fry with Fergus here. I'm gonna set myself up with a good old fashioned moonshine war. So I can't afford to have the Fenrir messing with me. So I'm gonna let those cubs go.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
And as for you all, nice job conning Fergus out of some script.
Sweet.
Let me ask you: Is there anything? Is there anything that you could do to help us out? I mean, we got all this script, but we'd rather have something more tangible.
Well, how about this? And he hands you a Tommy Deadman. And this, and he hands you another flask of Cherry Bounce Special Reserve.
That'll help.
Very nice. Now, with this script, is there a way that maybe you can take this off our hands and give us something, where I have something in this hand, which is script, and then I look at the other hand, and then I go back to the other hand, I go, I don't even remember what was in that hand.
A magical monetary material.
This thing looks a lot better than what was in my other hand.
I'm sure y'all can figure out what to do. If nothing else, it'll be good for provisions as you're moving around the hall here.
Yes, provisions.
This is true.
Yeah. I would still rather have something in this other hand, though. Can I just go ahead and make a persuasion roll?
It's not papery.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Please, good sir, if you would. Something less papery.
7?
He says, all right then, and he gives you a third flask of Cherry Bounce Special Reserve.
I have a feeling we better get out of here
very
and not
much,
see
sir.
Amos
And I go ahead and
Noor.
I stick it in my
Just
bag.
saying. Time to leave town and not come
Yeah,
back.
time to go.
Indeed.
What's that? Time to leave town? Yeah, okay.
All right. So you're heading back towards Ashdown to report back into LMA.
I'm going to go ahead and kind of stealth
Oh boy.
from the group, but keep myself kind of close.
Okay,
Just in case anything's in the town that I need to get away from.
Cool.
Well, you're headed back across Corncob Gap towards Ashdown. And you run into a traveler.
Uh-oh.
He's got a little cart. He's like, "Hey, y'all. I got something real special here. If you got some script or some liquor, maybe one of them fine weapons y'all carrying."
Well, I do have some script. I just so happen to have some.
Says, "Well, I'm out from Terrapin Corner, which is down here,
Oh boy.
conveniently located near the asylum, and this here mask." And he holds out a mask that looks like an ancient man with huge cauliflower ears,
Good Lord.
weird roomy pustules on one side of the face, and a bloody mouth that looks like it was made with a
Can we
slash
do
of
a
knife.
common knowledge to
God,
figure out
man,
what the
what is
heck
that
that
thing?
might
And a
be?
swarm of ravens drawn in around the eyes.
Sick.
Well, you don't have to, because he says,
what?
"This here mask was ripped from the leering rictus of a genuine meat yardian."
The leering rectum of a what?
Rictus. Okay, so let's see.
Okay.
Damn near killed us. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, that's gonna cover it.
Yeah, I like
Okay,
that is common
make
knowledge.
folklore rolls, please.
Ooh, I don't have folklore.
Folklore.
So I guess that's an unskilled check.
All right. Here it comes.
Buck's got some folklore, and he's got plenty of it. So, Buck,
Yeah.
you've heard of meat yardians.
I have.
They are cryptids.
Okay.
And you've heard that they are monstrous humanoids wearing masks with and that they strike out at various communities and wreak all kinds of havoc.
These sound kind of like puckwudgies, essentially, right? Are they sort of short, like aggressive and fast?
No, they're human sized.
Okay. All right.
Man, I can tell you right now, I do not want to wear that on my face.
No, No.
I think I'm good with whatever the hell that thing is.
What's
Everybody
that?
else
Insurance. Oh, no.
So the Meatyardians, they raided Terrapin's Corner, stealing mules, spilling butter churns, smashing windows, scaring the oldsters. This mask fell off a perp. One of them perpetrators, and I picked it up and hit the road. But seems like it scares folks away rather than enticing any buyers.
Agreed. Question. Do we know if these things lose their powers if they don't have these masks? Like, do they get substantially or significantly weaker? Do we know?
You don't know.
Okay.
What else you got?
Well, that's it. I figured I didn't want to stick around for them.
So you're a merchant. All you got is one thing.
I'm not so much a merchant as a refugee.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to stick around with them damn critters messing with the town.
Anybody want to buy this guy's mask?
It's just a horrendous looking thing.
I mean, you got plenty of script. And not
that
much
came
to
from a
use it on.
Meatyardian.
Now wait, it does what again?
As far as you know, it doesn't do anything.
It's just a.
Yeah. Why don't you? Listen. Why don't you do me a favor? Can you put that mask on?
I suppose so. And he pops it on his face.
Anything happened? Do we notice anything?
No. And he takes it back off. Well, you're ugly, ain't it? Now, you also know something about Terrapin Corner. It's named after the snapping turtles that populate the banks of the Big Sandy River. And it's basically a retirement community. A bunch of old-timers beyond their productive working years.
Now, I would imagine that there are a lot of ladies at this retirement area.
Boy, that's old.
More than likely.
Wait.
And there's a couple notorious tale tellers as well.
And what age are we talking?
Oh, they're mostly going to be in their 50s
just saying.
and 60s.
I'm just checking.
Ooh, boy, okay.
For sure.
Hey, if you're a
Thank you.
1920s factory worker, that is old.
Well, it is old. It is old, yes.
So you absolutely can go check this out because clearly there's a raid happening here, and
Well, I don't care much
maybe y'all
about
can
no
do some
raid.
good. Maybe
I
y'all
definitely want to go to
that.
that town.
Says, I tell you what, these Meatyardians. There was a hunter out in Fens. He saw him near Samuel Ashdown's abandoned hunting lodge.
I go ahead and I cut him off and I go, well, that's all nice and all, but these ladies, are they single?
Oh, quite a few of them are widders.
Whew. Well, I think I know where we should probably go next.
Wow.
They'll call me Old Blue for nothing.
All right, so you're going to make your way around past Ashdown to Terrapin Corner?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Are you going to check in with LMA and Ashdown while you're there?
I'm going to apologize ahead of right now, but I must continue. They don't call me Old Blue for nothing. It's been a while, and I got some blue balls that I got to go take care of.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dear.
All right,
Nope.
so a big note from Karl.
Just nope.
All right, so you are headed for Terrapin Corner, and that's where we're going to leave it for tonight. We'll pick it up next week with a visit to the retirement home.
Perfect.
Boom.
All right.
Yeah. You can follow Happy Monster Press on Facebook as Happy Monster Press, at our website, happymonsterpress.com, Twitter as Happy Monster PRS, or follow this podcast on YouTube, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, iTunes, or Google Play Music. Like what you hear? Support us on Ko-fi at ko.fi.com/HappyMonsterPress. Happy MonsterCast is part of the Savage Worlds Media Network. This game references the Savage Worlds game system available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at www.peginc.com. It is unofficial media content permitted under the Media Network Content Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain portions of the materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings and unique characters, locations, and characters' logos and trademarks are copyrights of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. All other content is the intellectual property of Happy Monster Press. Music, Ice Cold by Jason Shaw. And Lobo Loco's Spencer from the Free Music Archive.
Oh, for sure.